professional catchweight of 73 kilos. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner. He stands 5'9" tall, weighing in at 72.8 kilos. Bringing into the cage a professional record of 11 wins and 7 defeats. Please welcome Corneliu, the Beast of Moldova, Lascar! Standing across the cage, his opponent, fighting out of the red corner. He stands 5'9" tall and brings into the cage a record of 6 wins and 6 defeats, presenting Jeanderson, the Jackal, Castro!
The tension in that cage. Jeanderson Castro goes for that flying knee straight off the bat. Now, we spoke about Lascar's urge to get to the hips and get his opponent to the mat. He's there straight away in round 1.
Castro inches away with the flying knee, and Lascar gets straight in on the hips, exactly as you say. And this is the strategy I thought that Lascar would come in with. It's on Castro now to kind of prove his takedown defense, getting back to his feet, his escapes, and look to turn this into a striking battle.
And that's something we've seen from Castro. He's very, very good at defending these positions and getting back to his feet. But what a suplex by Lascar. He's on the back already. Can't quite see what's going on with the choke position. He's trying to crush down. Great work by Castro to turn into his opponent.
Lascar with the most beautiful throw I've ever seen. Suplex over his back, turned over his head, and landed on the 2-hook position.
Yeah. He threw him over the shoulder like it was nothing. And as I said, this small cage is really lending itself to Lascar's game plan. There's nowhere for Castro to go. But massive energy, you would think, expended there by Lascar. If Castro can weather this storm.
Absolutely. The fight starts on the feet every round, so that's going to lend himself to Castro's game plan. He's already back to his feet now, so we'll see what Lascar can do.
It is exhausting wearing somebody like this when they're pressing the action like this on you. And we've seen Lascar do this over and over in some of his performances. He's aggressive with his wrestling. Castro just working hard to get a deeper underhook and maybe try and get his back off the fence here.
Looking to press the action here.
Yeah, nice use of the whizzer there by Castro, and he's doing very well just to stifle the attempts of Lascar to get this takedown. Strong use of the underhook to elevate his opponent. Little short uppercuts underneath, just trying to keep his opponent honest. Referee Derek Hickey again calls for a little bit of action because Lascar, after that big expenditure of energy after the suplex, has maybe just taken a minute or two there to recharge the batteries. Those are not techniques that you get to use a hell of a lot in one fight. Now we're in open water. This is where the Jackal wants to swim. Couple of feints to try and draw a reaction out of his opponent. Uses his footwork excellently to cut off the cage, and he's doing it again here. And a much deeper shot this time. Lascar gets to the hips, gets his opponent to the fence. The issue in these kind of smaller size cages is once you get pressed into your opponent, 2 steps backwards and you feel the fence hitting your back, and Castro doesn't have the room to circle off really. Again, last time now we saw this position, Lascar just took that moment here to stay pressured on his opponent, and the referee ended up separating them. Are we going to see that again?
Referee is asking Lascar to stop putting his fingers into the cage.
Yeah, Derek Hickey right on top of the action there, one of the best in the game, and not having any of that.
Watching carefully, separates them again.
Another separation.
Lascar not happy. Inside leg kick check there by Lascar.
Castro looking for the kill shot. Nice entry again by Lascar, and this time away from the fence. Manages to get his opponent to the ground and passed into side control. What damage can he do from here?
Like to see Lascar keep that heavy pressure, make sure he sustains the position and holds it for a little bit of time. 20 seconds left in the round.
Stepping over, looking for the back, and he's got that one hook in. The wrist control, the Dagestani handcuff underneath, making life difficult for Castro, who's just going to ride out the round here. Stay safe. None of these shots are massively impactful, but for sure the most impactful moment of the round was that suplex, one of the greatest takedowns I've ever seen live in a mixed martial arts cage. With that cage door closed, these guys are ready to go. Now, as we said, Lascar burned a hell of a lot of fuel in that first round with those massive takedowns, and there's only so many times you can go to the well with those type of weapons.
Yeah, using a lot of that energy in the first 5 minutes. 10 minutes to go. We'll see how that bodes over time.
Yeah, and Jeanderson Castro can change a fight in an instant. He has that type of one-shot knockout power. Again, the feints to drive his opponent back into the fence and get those big reactions. Fighting out of that southpaw stance, such variety of weapons, including those left leg kicks to the body, big left hands. That entry again by Lascar. Again manages to get Castro down.
Big overhand left, landed partially on the glove there, but Castro swung big hard shot, and that's going to have its effect.
Castro's very good at this, finding a post and getting himself back to his feet and eventually creating that separation. His whole game plan is on the sprawl and brawl basis and creating space to let those hands and those kicks go. He's working hard to get back up here, and I like the way he's managed to do it so far. Got his back to the fence. I thought for a moment he was going to land in full mount.
Perfect execution on the suplex once again.
Yeah, it was a big risk because Castro almost hipped into him and took top position. Lascar again chasing, and he's got the hands connected again, and Castro goes down once more. In a fight like this, even though Lascar is not doing a hell of a lot of damage once he gets Castro down, what he is doing is he's taking time away from Castro. There's limited opportunities then for Castro to start landing damaging strikes of his own. Then he's laced that hook inside and managed to weave it around the back of the lower leg of Castro, which makes it difficult for Castro to use that leg as a post. He's got that strong hook. He's trying to create that space to get the right leg around for the second hook, but Castro is so adept at getting his back to the fence.
Hands connected on the far side makes it hard for Castro to really get any sort of defense and break the grips and move out and get this back out in the open.
Can be an exhausting fight defending somebody with this kind of physique and this kind of physical strength who's on you all the time. But lovely double underhooks there by Castro. The knee up the middle. Again, looking super patient here, waiting for his opportunity to let those shots go.
Lascar circling to the left here with Castro looking to time that overhand right.
I like the way he uses that footwork, that lateral movement just to cut off the cage, but Lascar has managed to find himself back out in the open, Shoots a takedown again. Presses the Jackal back to the fence yet again. Can he complete this one? Make it a hat trick of takedowns here in round 2.
You're doing well, Jean. Come on, let's go.
We've seen a couple of instances where he's managed to complete the takedown, and we've seen a couple where he's rested on his laurels a little bit and caused the referee to separate them. So seems to be just pressing the action that little bit more now when he gets in those positions against the fence.
Seems like, I kind of said this in the Daniel Negru bout earlier on, the technique comes out when you're tired, and Lascar's technique with these takedowns is just second to none. The suplexes, the trips, the grips, everything is super clean.
Tried to go knee on belly and transition to mount there, but a little bump from Castro made Lascar swim back around to the north-south position. He's followed the hips of Castro very well. Castro blocks the hooks. See how Lascar just keeps his chest connected to the back of Castro, making him carry that weight, making him feel that pressure. The second round that would have just gotten away from Jeanderson Castro again. The window of opportunity to land the knockout blow is getting smaller for Jeanderson Castro.
Frustration is here.
Let's go for broke. You would imagine he needs a finish.
Yeah.
How much energy does Lascar have to keep executing this high pressure, high intensity wrestling output?
In on the takedown once again, connecting his hands just under the tailbone of Castro and getting a kind of a top position.
Yeah, the wrestling prowess of Lascar and the physical strength that goes along with it. There's something to behold, and Castro has a hell of a mountain to climb.
100%. I had the privilege of training with Lascar about 4 weeks ago. We did a wrestling jiu-jitsu session together, and his body is just wooden. He's just super strong. I couldn't get any real major offense on him. He's just reversing positions, balance, strength, everything. He has it all.
Yeah, he looks an exceptional athlete, but his persistence, his doggedness, and his skill are evident here in the cage tonight. His wrestling has been so impressive.
His gas tank as well is very impressive. He's not showing any signs of slowing down here coming into the last 3 minutes.
Yeah, he seemed to take a little bit of a break for a couple of minutes after the suplex in round 1, where he got separated a couple of times. It just seemed to be just resting a little bit almost, but it seems to have recharged and come back, which you don't often see. Sometimes you see fighters just wilt a little after spending a lot of their gas tank, but he is really turning up the heat on Jeanderson Castro over the course of the 3 rounds. And he's going full Khabib. He's locked down the legs of Jeanderson Castro, and Castro ain't going to get that knockout blow that he needs from this position. He needs to scramble and get back to his feet. He needs to take a risk here. Framing on the head, trying to push away, but see how Lascar just eases that off. The elbow is there as a nice alternative weapon. When you've got the frame, there's always an elbow.
Derek Hickey clapping, looking for action here.
Yeah, Lascar not doing enough. Under the, a referee like Derek Hickey isn't going to allow him to just stay there and hold his opponent down. He's being urged to be more active. But it's Castro who's landing the shots from there, and Lascar gets separated from Castro. This is it. This is the final roll of the dice for the Jackal. He needs to find a home for those hands or those kicks. And straight away, Lascar shoots. Unsuccessful. Big knee, but he just found the chest rather than the head. And Lascar now has his hands connected. You can expect to see Castro go for a ride yet again here. He's losing the grip though in the transition. And is Castro able to get one more separation? Uses the knee to the body. We might be seeing Lascar showing some signs of fatigue here in round 3. That underhook needs to be deeper. He needs to elevate his opponent's head. He's got double unders now. He's going to try and get his opponent elevated. Lascar drops to the knees. I can't quite see if he's connected the hands. I think he has. He's going to give it everything he has to try and elevate Castro. Doesn't manage to do so. Tries to switch back into a single, possibly. He is relentless here. Castro's on his neck. Is he going to think about it? Maybe a last-ditch guillotine attempt? I don't think he's got quite the right angle.
Less than 90 seconds to go.
There's that
Lascar's in here
S-grip.
again. Ooh.
Triangle attempt here, possibly from Jeanderson Castro, but the shoulders of Corneliu Lascar burst their way through that attack. But this could be all she wrote if Lascar can manage to land some damaging blows from here. Could be enough to just keep him in this position for the remainder of this third round. Castro desperately trying to wall walk, trying to create a little bit of space, create a scramble. Lascar just holding on, it would seem, trying to go chest on chest. Scrambles around to the back, Castro trying to get to his feet, create a little bit of separation. A couple of very, very fatigued fighters in this cage right now. It has been a grueling wrestling battle over the 3 rounds.
Incredible night's work for both men. Relentless by Lascar,
but a little too late. And Corneliu Lascar, you would imagine, is going to go 12-7. And the sizable crowd that he's brought with him this evening are probably going to be very, very happy when they hear their fighter's name read out.
After 3 rounds, we go to your judges' scorecards for decision. All 3 judges scored this bout 30-27 for your